Citigroup. I call this bank the survivor. More than any of the other four big banks that we're looking at this week, this is the one that suffered the most during the financial crisis of 2008. I believe that much of what you see in Citigroup today reflects the ordeal that they've been through. Now on Friday, Citigroup will recap their first quarter earnings and their outlook for the rest of the year. We'll get to hear Citigroup's senior management bring us up to date on the bank's current status. I think that's simply the best way to get to know a company like Citigroup. Later in the podcast, we'll let you know how you can participate in the webcast directly from your internet device. Welcome, it's Wednesday, April 11th, and this is Value Side. I'm your host, David Ravel. Now, our analysis today should not be considered a recommendation either to buy or sell this or any related security. Citigroup. What a storied name in American banking. Citigroup serves 200 million customers in 160 countries around the world. Its distinctive red and blue logo is one of the few truly worldwide brands. As bad as the crisis of 2008 was for U.S. banking, Citigroup suffered more than most. After all, the bank was technically insolvent at that time. Only the government bailout in the form of TARP, the Troubled Asset Relief Program, prevented Citi from going under for the last time. It's why I call this bank a survivor. That it made it through at all is a credit to the bank's management and the TARP program. So what's Citi up to now? Some future acquisition? Some bright new headquarters or new products? It doesn't sound like it. Writing in their most recent annual report, the chairman of Citi, Michael Corbat, writes, "The growth we're driving today is sustainable. It's not going to come from acquiring competitors, entering new territories, or expanding. It's going to come from serving our customers and institutional clients with distinction." Unquote. Let's see how they've done. As a value investor, one of our favorite measures of a company's financial position is their book value. That's their bottom line balance sheet value once you subtract all the debt and other liabilities. Now, back in 2007, the year before the banking crisis, Citi had a book value per share of $277. But by 2010, even after the bailout, their book value had fallen to just $53 per share, an 80% loss. The real value of the bank, and therefore of its stock, was only 19% of what it was before the crisis. Now today, Citi stock trades in the low $70 per share, right at their current book value, and significantly below the other four big banks. Wall Street does not yet believe in Citigroup, so much so that the Street is estimating a drop in their next year's earnings. If there's one thing that I think we should focus on at the conference call, it will be the effect of the Tax Reform and Jobs Act passed at the end of 2017. Of all the banks, I think tax reform will have the biggest impact on Citi. The short-term question will be the effect of the Tax Act on Citi's extended international presence. Citi has some serious issues on which funds to repatriate versus which funds will need to be kept overseas to support those divisions. But most of all for Citi, I think it is the long-run effect of the reduced corporate tax rate which will really help. Over the past 5 years, Citi has an average corporate tax rate of well over 30%. But under the new schedule, Citi will see their rate drop to just 20%. That's a huge drop for a company as massive as Citi, and might be just the boost they need to sustain the growth that Chairman Corbat was talking about. The Citigroup conference call will take place this Friday the 13th at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Chairman Corbat will host. You may join the conference call via Citi's website, citigroup.com. Look for the Investor Relations button. And that brings you up to date on Citigroup's earnings report. We'll be back tomorrow to review Wells Fargo Bank, which has been in the news all the time. This has been a copyrighted edition of ValueSide, published before the opening of the New York Stock Exchange for Wednesday, March 28th. Don't forget, you can hear ValueSide on Google Music, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and now on YouTube. For all of us at ValueSide, I'm David Ravel, hoping you have a great day.